So y'all boys had to take a little break, you know what I'm saying? But we got 9 most disturbing cases on Facebook by Nightmare Feelings. See this, man. All right. I already know that though, but all right, yeah, I ain't like get on. Yeah, get on somewhere all that. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, you got it. All that music, creepy stuff, bro. Come on, guys. All right, let's see this.
Eleni Topolodi was a Greek island girl who trusted someone and paid a grave price for it. In
Damn.
November 2018, Greece was struck with the devastating news of what a specific kind of cruelty can do to a nation and community. Eleni was a high-flying multilingual student who decided to attend Aegean University on the island of Rhodes. This decision would change her life irrevocably. In November 2018, Eleni received a message on Facebook from a 19-year-old boy named
Whoa, whoa.
Alexander Luka. He was charming, complimentary, and had a great profile. They got talking and eventually agreed to meet up for a date at a local kebab restaurant on November 27th, 2018. This is where things took a
All right.
turn for the worse. Surveillance footage later captured him walking back and forth outside
Mm-mm.
Eleni's building
He's just suspicious, bro. Walking back and forth and shit.
before she came down.
Now, family used to get on me about like, you know, when I would go outside, give me a little walking, like pacing back and forth. You gotta watch for that type of stuff.
He kissed her on the cheek and led her to a car. Inside, a second man was already waiting. The man was later
What?
identified as Manolis Kakouras, the 20-year-old son of a wealthy local businessman. His father had influence and money that could likely sweep things under the rug. Eleni was rightfully uncomfortable, but Manolis was charming and dismissive about it. Even her date seemed unbothered. Then came the twist. At some point during the night, Manolis suggested they go to his family's summer villa in Lindos instead of eating at the restaurant. Eleni was still uneasy, so she sent a text to a friend asking her to call in an hour with an excuse to leave. The call came, but it went to voicemail. Eleni never answered and was radio silent through the night. Eleni was assaulted by the
Damn.
two men when she refused their advances. A decision
Just threw their
made
life away
between
for
two
that, bro.
people who had already decided they were
It's
entitled to
sad.
what they wanted. That Eleni's answer didn't count. Even beaten and in pain, she told them she was going to the police. That statement changed the nature
Oh, weird,
of
bro.
what they did
I ain't gonna lie.
next. Manolis, a wealthy kid, saw Eleni's statement as a threat to everything his family held dear. They attacked her again, strangling her, and beating her face with an iron box until she lost consciousness again.
That shit fucked
Then
up.
they drove her off a remote cliff. Eleni survived the fall, but later died by drowning,
Drove her off a
as she
cliff.
could not move from the water. What happened next was
Gotta be safe when we gotta meet online, bro.
nauseating. These boys did their best to hide their
That's all I
heinous
gotta say.
crimes. Her belongings were discarded, and her body was discovered the next morning by fishermen. Her face was so beaten, she was unidentifiable. She was later identified by a rose tattoo on her ankle. Alexander and Manolis were eventually arrested and sentenced to life in prison for murder, after a trial marked by public outrage and attempts by Manolis's wealthy family to influence the narrative. During the trial, it was also revealed that Eleni had reported a previous assault years earlier but had been discouraged from pursuing the case. The same system that failed her once
It's a police system, bro. Justice system. Gotta
was
do
now
better,
under
bro.
scrutiny again, this time with an entire country watching. What do you
Going
think
to
of this
alive.
case? Let me know in the comments. Before we continue,
So weird.
do you remember get there? I'm just grateful
Get my nigga to the
we're
subscribers
October
up.
2026. Importantly, subscribed yet to the video.
Get my nigga to the shit, man.
In Mountain City, Tennessee, violent crime was almost unheard of. So,
Hmm.
when police found two people shot execution
That's what I want to be like. I want to be with somewhere, no crime, none of that,
style
bro.
in their home, the town was shaken to its core. Bill Payne, 36, was found shot in the head and his throat cut. His
Damn, what
fiancée,
the
Billie
fuck?
Jean Hayworth, 23, lay dead nearby,
I'll be that other girl too, by the way. Praise her
holding their
coming.
baby son, Tyler, who was unharmed but covered in blood. Dead nearby, holding their baby son, Tyler,
She was dead holding her son
was unharmed
that was
but covered in
alive?
blood. There were signs of forced entry, but nothing was taken. This was no robbery. It was plain murder. This raised so many questions. Who could have done this to a young family just starting life? Investigations into the last moments of Bill's life uncovered a series of harassments, phone calls, and baseless online accusations made against the couple and their friends. Within a day, suspicion turned to Janelle Potter, a sheltered woman in her 30s living with her parents. Janelle rarely left home and mostly socialized online. Bill Payne had introduced her to his cousin Jamie Curd, and while Janelle dated Jamie, her real focus remained on Bill. When Bill didn't return Janelle's feelings, she began harassing
So
the
it's
couple
because
with
they
dozens of
cheated or something.
anonymous calls and online accusations. Janelle spread claims on Facebook that Billie Jean had been bullying and threatening her, though she could never explain exactly what Billie Jean had actually done. After Bill and Billie Jean unfriended her, the harassment escalated. Friends sought restraining orders, and police even found Janelle's father, Marvin, outside at night with a gun, fearing
Yo, come on,
intruders.
fam.
During questioning, Jamie Curd admitted Marvin Potter was the shooter and that he was present during the murders. Then, unexpectedly, Jamie asked if the CIA was involved with the Potters. At first, the CIA comment seemed odd, but when police
Hmm?
pieced together shredded emails from Marvin's truck, they found months of messages from Chris, a supposed CIA agent warning that Bill and Billie Jean were dangerous. Janelle had shown these
That's
messages
a
to
CIA
Marvin,
agent that said that?
but all the emails traced back to the Potter home. The
And he's
truth,
still wrong free
Janelle
after that?
invented Chris, wrote the threats, and convinced her father they were real. Barbara Potter had searched online,
So she wrote the
"Can a
threats.
murderer be forgiven?" 2 weeks
But
before the
what?
killings. Wearing a wire,
This is so
Jamie called
crazy how people like do this type of stuff and then search up stuff like that, bro. Like they'll kill somebody and search up how to get away with it or will it be forgiven. Like you know what I'm saying? Like not knowing that if you do that and they find out that you did it to somebody and they have that proof, it's like not only did you
Marvin,
lie, but it's
who
like it's
admitted
clear
he'd
obvious.
disposed of the weapon.
Clear
Bullets in
evidence of it.
Marvin's truck matched the crime scene. Police arrested Marvin, who confessed he thought he was protecting his daughter from threats. What do you make of this case? Let us know in the comments
She
below.
made up threats just to kill them because she was miserable.
At first, the footage seems unremarkable. It shows a man walking through an apartment complex parking lot,
How do you
pulling
see
a
that?
suitcase. There is nothing out of the
I,
ordinary.
I can never look at people with suitcases the same, bro. Only time I probably could look at it is like maybe airports and then like sports players when they bring their suitcases to games and shit, bro. Other than that, like just walking around seeing random people hold suitcases, like it's never the same no more after what y'all be doing, bro. Killing people, putting them in suitcases, putting dogs in suitcases.
But later, investigators reviewed it and realized what the suitcase likely held.
I can't even
Jasmine
take
Pace
care of
was
that. Like,
22
I
and
mean,
close to her family. She
I
worked
don't
for
even
her
feel
mother and
comfortable
stepfather's
having a
construction
suitcase,
business
now.
in Chattanooga, and they were building her a house nearby. People liked her. She was thoughtful and kept in touch with those around her.
So
About a
isn't that
year
like
before she went
Tennessee,
missing, she met Jason Chen on Bumble, and they
Chattanooga?
had recently started dating. Her family knew about him, but had not met him yet. Just before Thanksgiving in
Mm.
2022, Jasmine's great grandmother died. While her
Yeah, my
family
favorite grandmother, rest her
was
family.
still grieving, Jasmine left home on the night of November 22nd and never came back. The next
Damn.
morning, Jasmine's mother,
Well, my
Katrina, got a
girlfriend Emma
text from
spent
Jasmine's
Thanksgiving
phone
in South
saying
Carolina.
she had gone to South Carolina with a friend named Emma. The message seemed strange because Katrina knew Emma, and Jasmine would not have described her that way. Jasmine
So you
missed
think someone else
Thanksgiving
wrote
and
that?
stopped answering calls. When Katrina reached out to Emma, she found out Emma was in Kentucky and had no idea about any trip. 2 days later, Jasmine's Facebook showed an old photo that did not match how she looked now.
Mm.
Friends and family quickly realized something was wrong. Katrina found Jasmine's
That was a
car
dead
abandoned
Thanksgiving.
at 900 Mountain Creek Road. Phone records showed Jasmine talked to Jason for over an hour the night she went missing. The next day, Jason texted her about dinner plans, but she never read the message. When Katrina contacted him, he avoided her questions and gave a fake address. At 2:15 a.m., a location pin from Jasmine's
In the
phone
morning?
led the family to Jason's real apartment. Inside, they found Jasmine's belongings, but neither Jasmine nor Jason was there. When police searched the apartment on November 27th, they found evidence of violence and attempts to clean up. A neighbor said they heard a woman scream around 2:11 a.m., just
Damn.
minutes before the location pin was sent. Later, surveillance footage showed Jason leaving with an injured hand, and that evening he was seen dragging a suitcase to his car.
That's
Police
so
arrested
evil too. Like to kill somebody and put their body in a suitcase, bro.
Jason at his parents'
Especially if
home
they
in
are like still
Martinsville
alive
on
when you do
November
it.
29th. Investigators found notes where he had written out alibis and planned what to say. Records showed he used Jasmine's phone to send messages and post updates
Told you it was
online.
somebody else.
Tracking his movements led officers to Suck Creek Road, where they found the
They must
suitcase
have
by the
dove. Oh
river.
no, he slept it out.
Jasmine was still alive during the
That's
attack.
what I said, bro. Like, imagine they're still alive and you hurt them. They're unconscious. You put them in a suitcase, and then you just wake up and you in a suitcase, bro. Nobody around. No, you can't hear nobody. There's probably like some animals you hear like near you. You know, maybe like some crickets or some birds or
Including when the
something.
neighbor heard her scream. Jason Chen's trial started on January 13th, 2025. His defense argued that the crime was not planned, but the evidence
Bro,
did not
what?
support this claim.
It
Records
wasn't
showed
planned.
no activity to back up his story, and
What does
his
that
phone
mean? Like,
revealed he
make a difference,
contacted
bro?
other women just days later. The jury took 40 minutes to reach a verdict. On January 21st, 2025, he was found guilty of first-degree premeditated murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. The brutality of the crime he committed still sits with
But
people
it's like,
till
what's the
today.
point of that, though, bro?
Jasmine was stabbed 60 stab wounds while alive, and the
60?
crime was
And
so
she
heinous that
survived
the
that?
claimant had the knife break inside her.
Yo, broke the knife broke inside her.
Melinda
I like RP her break
did
her too.
everything she could to protect herself. She documented the abuse, filed reports, described threats in detail, got a protection order, changed her truck's color to avoid being seen, and moved
Damn.
out. She took every possible step to disappear from Marco's life. However, just 5 days after the protection order was ordered, Marco shot Melinda 8 times outside her aunt's house in Lake City, Arkansas.
Yo.
He lay in wait and, after the murder, broadcasted his actions live on social media. Melinda and
IG or
Marco had
Facebook, I
moved
think.
from Jonesboro to Lake City. While they
That's
seemed like
Georgia, I
every
think.
other couple at first, their
Jonesboro.
marriage soon became abusive. Melinda documented
Damn. Like, what
disturbing
happened?
at first, had moved from Jonesboro to Lake City. While they seemed like every other couple at first, their marriage soon became abusive.
When did they get
Melinda
married? Like, how long?
documented disturbing threats and incidents in
Put a
her
gun in my
protection order
mouth?
to protect
Huh?
herself, but that did nothing to protect her. On
Oh, wait.
August
This is
incident,
right here.
their
Yeah, I
marriage
know I
soon
wasn't
became
tripping.
abusive.
Just
Melinda
put a gun in my mouth
documented
and made me
disturbing
get on my
threats and
knee.
incidents in her protection order to protect
Yo,
herself,
what?
but that did nothing to
He's
protect
gonna
her.
chop all
On
my limbs
August
off and
24th,
scatter them?
2019, Melinda went to her aunt's home to repay $20 and collect dishes. While she was there, her aunt heard screams and gunshots. Melinda had been shot 5 times, with bullets leaving 8 wounds. Neighbors witnessed the shooting and identified Marco as the killer. What detectives later learned will make this story more heartbreaking. Detectives found out that Marco never got served the protection order. Officers left a note at Marco's trailer, but he was never formally notified. This failure left Melinda unprotected. Cindy Davies, whom Marco viewed as a sister,
It's not like their
called police
fault, bro.
after Marco
The
confessed to her
police
in tears about
ain't
killing
getting no
Melinda.
protection.
He claimed he acted because he felt abandoned by others. As police processed the scene, Marco was
What?
about to do something even more
You felt
disturbing.
abandoned.
He got on Facebook and live streamed from his car. He named people, made threats, and warned others in Jonesboro. As he broadcast what he had done, Marco was eventually surrendered. However, during interrogation, Marco shifted between confusion and bluntness. He admitted he was jealous and wrongly believed Melinda was cheating, even though
Y'all niggas
investigators
be throwing y'all freedom away so easily, bro. Like, y'all just say, I feel like that's just an excuse at this point. You did it because she was cheating, bro. I don't feel like you did it because she was cheating. If you don't have no actual proof, you probably just doing it for someone else to use that as an excuse.
found she was only having a normal work conversation.
That's what I'm
Marco,
saying,
on
bro.
the other hand,
That's insecurity,
had
bro.
been unfaithful. A man who killed his wife over a suspicion he could not prove had been doing exactly what he accused her of. Marco
So
never
he
showed
was
real
cheating.
remorse.
That's guilt, bro. You would thought if she was cheating and you were cheating and you kill her,
He justified his
what
actions,
was the point of that?
blamed Melinda for not being
You
honest,
just
and
ruined your
questioned
freedom.
what gave her the right to leave him. Even without the murder weapon, Marco's confession, witness statements, and other evidence made the case clear. He lured Melinda and killed her outside her aunt's home. Marco Deshaun Clark was sentenced to life in prison on June 2nd, 2021. Friends described Melinda as caring and generous, someone who went out of her way to help others. She did
Like I told y'all, man, once you got married, though, first
not
her
deserve
family,
to be
though.
hunted or killed by
RP
the
to
man
her.
she left. One of the most heartbreaking parts of the story is that the protection order was never served.
That's what I'm
What
saying.
if Marco had gotten the protective order? Would he have had access to
But that
Melinda? Let
basically
me know
like that's like basically a nutrition
your
order
thoughts in the comment section.
or registration, whatever
Most
the shit's
killers
called.
hide. Amanda Taylor wanted the world to see. After stabbing a man 31 times,
Yo,
she
come
took a
on.
photo over the body, knife in hand, and sent it to a
Huh?
crime blogger, asking him to share it. Amanda grew up in Christiansburg.
Yeah, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Virginia, always finding trouble.
That's
At
a mugshot.
15, she met Rex Taylor. Bonded by an obsession with true crime and serial killers, they collected murder memorabilia and wrote to inmates together. From the start,
Wrote to
Amanda and
inmates.
Rex's relationship was troubled. Introduced to opioids by his father at 12, Rex's addiction
Damn.
only worsened. Their relationship was off and on. They had 2 kids, but addiction was always there. After a drug fueled crash with the kids, Amanda told Rex to leave. He moved back in with his father, and a month later, Rex died by
Told y'all,
suicide
man. Stop being on drugs, bro. I mean, especially when y'all have kids. But RP down, no very
on his son's birthday. Amanda's grief turned into rage at Charles Taylor. She said that her interest in taking lives came from Rex, and she fostered this hunger. After threatening harm at Rex's grave, she was
Hmm?
hospitalized, warning doctors she wanted to hurt Charles. Days later, she was released with a prescription she never filled. The warning
It's a problem, bro. I be letting people free from me, giving them medication that they probably not even gonna take, and then boom. I thought they should have told the police if she felt comfortable enough talking to the doctor and telling them that she went to harm that person, should have told the police, bro.
was ignored. Sean Ball, who'd long adored Amanda, tried to watch over her, but she used that devotion he had for her to carry out her plans. On March 27, 2015, Rex's birthday, Amanda and Sean went to Charles Taylor's home to carry out their plan. Sean hit Charles with a crowbar, and
Damn.
Amanda stabbed him 31 times. Blood was everywhere. Charles's paralyzed father survived only because Amanda left him.
Survivor?
After the killing, Amanda took a photo with the body, posted it on Facebook, and
Oh,
sent it
who
to
she
a
think
crime
she is,
blogger,
though?
claiming she'd avenged Rex. She warned police not to chase her or more would die. Then she disappeared with Sean Ball. On the run, Amanda and Sean's partnership unraveled, resulting in her shotting him in the face before leaving. Sean survived. His story, Amanda's social media
That nigga
trail,
survived?
warned police not to chase her or more would die. Then she disappeared with Sean Ball. On the run, Amanda and Sean's partnership unraveled, resulting in her shotting him in the face before leaving. Sean survived. His story, Amanda's social media trail, and gas station footage led police
Man, she was that in love with that man and she killed somebody
to
over it.
her. Amanda was arrested,
And it's
convicted, and
happy.
sentenced to life. The man she used ended up making sure she never went free.
That's sad. And she used this man, so he just ruined his freedom for a girl he wasn't even with. I don't think they do better, man. RP that. Oh, I don't even think he died.
In
But if he
today's
did,
digital age, we
RP
share
him.
our lives instantly, posting perfect updates and smiling for
Precious
photos.
to me.
But during a criminal investigation, those same pictures, meant to capture happy
Let me
moments,
do that.
can sometimes become the most chilling evidence. Two best friends appeared to be getting ready for a night out in Saskatoon in a single
My shit.
selfie
It's
uploaded to Facebook in March 2015. However, one would be discovered dead on a barren road the following morning, while the
mm,
other would be the main suspect. In the case of Brittany Gargole and Cheyenne Rose Antoine, a Facebook post not only documented a moment, but also a murder weapon on an abandoned section of pavement close to the city landfill, a location where nobody goes at night. A passing car
mm,
made the discovery. Brittany Gargole, 18, was lying in the dirt. Just weeks before she would graduate from high school, her life
mm.
had been extinguished. She was cold to the
Yes,
touch,
man.
and her shoes were missing. Police discovered a watch, a black belt with wide webbing, and a leather jacket nearby. Investigators would soon discover that the belt held the key to the whole mystery. Despite the strange collection of objects left behind,
Damn.
Cheyenne, Brittany's closest friend,
Right, right,
took
right.
to social media as word of her passing spread. She wrote a touching tribute, asking where Brittany was, and stating that she had gone missing after they split for the evening. It
Mm.
was a convincing performance of a grieving friend, despite the fact that Brittany was
So
already
she
dead when the post was made. The digital
that
footprint
to
that
her
the two women had made to celebrate their
and then
friendship
brought that.
had inadvertently led the police to their first major lead in the case. The police were able to get to the bottom of the events of the last night of Brittany's life. It
Mm.
started off like any other night of drinking and bar hopping. But even after several investigations, the investigators could not make an arrest. However, when police took a closer look at the Facebook selfie posted on March 25th,
He said there was
2015,
a weapon
they
in
made
here.
a remarkable discovery. Cheyenne was wearing the same belt that was found at the
I
crime
know it was
scene.
a belt.
Other evidence at the
Damn.
scene showed there had been a struggle. DNA found on the belt later matched Cheyenne. She
So
later
she
confessed,
strangled her with the belt?
saying she had blacked out and could not remember what happened. She admitted the argument got out of control,
Damn.
and she used her own belt to strangle her best friend. Instead
Damn,
of
bro.
calling for help or taking Brittany to the hospital, Cheyenne left her on the side of the road in the dark and went home to make an alibi on Facebook. On January 15th,
I don't
2018,
know. I thought that was suspicious too, though. Like, if she was with her and then left her and then wrote that note, like, after she was already dead, you know what I'm saying? Like, after they already found out she was dead, if she went home and then wrote, hope to make it home safe, it's a little suspicious, bro.
Cheyenne Rose
But
Antoine
she killed
pleaded
her. She
guilty to
strangled her over
manslaughter
a
and was sentenced to
argument.
7 years in prison. Brittany trusted
7 years.
Cheyenne, but in the end, she was left to die by the person she thought was her closest friend. This case remains a disturbing reminder of how quickly
I
best
watch
friends
y'all be
forever can
friends
turn
with,
into
bro.
a nightmare. What did you
I
think
tell
of this
y'all.
case? Let me know in the
Say,
comments.
say. That's why I be staying away from people like that, bro. You
We're
can be
often
friends with people, but you don't got to be around them all the time.
told that if we see the signs and do everything right, if we call for help, report the threats, and document the danger, the system will be there to catch us. But for Montana Davis, a 26-year-old nurse from Dayton, Ohio, doing everything right
Mm.
wasn't enough to stop a man who had already decided that if he couldn't have her, no one would.
Yeah, y'all got to get out of that mindset too, bro. Cause I ain't gonna lie, when I was younger, I used to think that was like, when not young, but like, and I was like, 14, 15. I used to think that was cool, bro. Like a female that, didn't, like if you couldn't have them, they wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? But it's not worth it,
It's
bro.
a story that begins with the hope of a fresh start and ends with a
It's not
911
worth it,
call
dog.
that came just minutes too late. This is a case that
111.
exposes the terrifying reality of what happens when an obsession turns into an intent to kill, and why some of the most dangerous moments in a woman's life happen right after she decides to move on. Montana Davis was building a life she could be proud of. As
Shout
a
out all the
nurse,
nurses and
she spent
doctors
her
out there,
days
man.
caring for others,
12
and
hour
as a mother
shifts,
of
no
two,
eats.
her world revolved around her
I mean,
children. After ending a relationship with her ex-boyfriend, she was finally starting to breathe again. She had even begun dating someone new,
mm.
eventually sharing a photo of her happiness on
I
Facebook.
don't know, man. I feel like too, bro. If you know your ex is crazy, bro, I don't think it's smart to just post like with somebody else. I'm gonna be honest, especially if they're not over you yet. Like, I know it's your own life, your own social media, but it's just like your safety, bro, and that person's safety. Like your ex find out you got somebody else and they already crazy for you, bro. Especially if it's not that long, like hasn't been that long, bro. You just never know, man.
It was a simple
Might try and
gesture, a
find you, might
sign
try and
that she
find
was moving
him.
forward.
You know what I mean,
But to her ex,
especially if
that
you had
photo
kids with
wasn't
them
just
too.
a status update, it was a trigger. It was the moment he decided to crash
Just
out,
gotta keep certain
turning
things
his
off
resentment
on
into a
camera.
violent plan that would shatter a family forever. On the night the violence erupted, Montana knew something was wrong. She didn't ignore the warning signs. She acted on them. She placed a call to 911, calmly telling
Keep saying
dispatchers that
no.
her ex-boyfriend was calling her, threatening to shoot up her house. She
Damn.
made sure they knew her children were inside. She was treating the threat with the seriousness it deserved, trusting that the distance between her report and the police response would be her shield. But as she spoke to dispatch, the threat was already at her door. The
Damn.
second call from the house dropped into silence, leaving dispatchers to hear only the chaos unfolding on the other end. When officers arrived at the Dayton home, they found a scene of absolute devastation. There had been a struggle, a break-in that escalated into a physical fight before the shots were fired. Montana had been struck, and despite the immediate first aid provided by officers and the efforts of medical staff at the hospital, her injuries were too severe. She passed away,
Damn.
leaving behind two children who were forced to witness the ultimate nightmare.
And they were there too. I pitied her personal
In
family.
the aftermath,
That's what I say too. Like if you do that, like you post on social media with somebody else after breaking up, I say you gotta be like be aware of that type of stuff and just always be trying to always be around them if you can too, bro. Just so you have protection. If you're a female at least.
police recovered a mountain of evidence, but the
But if
most
you're a
haunting
dude, you do
piece
need
was the
to if
recording of
it's a girl.
Montana's own voice, trying to save her life before it was stolen from her. The investigation quickly moved toward a person of interest, but for those who knew Montana, the who was never a mystery. It was the why and the how that hurt the most. Montana Davis did everything she was supposed to do. She recognized the threat, she reached out for protection, and she tried to move on peacefully. Her story isn't a
Damn.
cautionary tale about what she missed. It's a sobering look at the limits of our safety nets when faced with a person determined to cause harm. It reminds us that for some, a Facebook post is enough to spark a fatal obsession. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section.
I'll say safety
Imagine
in a relationship
dedicating
or not.
nearly 3 decades of your life to a person,
Damn,
raising children
man.
together.
I was thinking that too, bro. Like, you with a girl for that long, like years on end, have kids, successful businesses, YouTube channels, all that, and they cheat on you, bro, for just a couple second dopamine, bro. Like this, that's what I'm saying. Like this,
And
you gotta watch
building
who
what
you
you
marry, bro.
believed was a foundation of mutual trust,
That's
only
like the
to
worst that
realize the
could
man
happen. I ain't
sleeping
gonna lie.
next to you was living a complete double life. This is the tragic story of Crystal Evans, a woman whose attempt to reclaim her truth and her safety ended in a cold blooded act of violence right on the steps of a courthouse. It's a case that exposes the terrifying reality of domestic obsession and the systemic failures that often leave vulnerable women to fend for
Why he look
themselves.
so
Crystal's
mad
world
though?
began to fracture when she discovered that her husband of 27 years, Tom
Damn,
Mallory,
man.
was secretly having affairs
27?
with other men. To
Other
Crystal,
men?
this
Oh yeah. I ain't
wasn't
gonna lie. Yo, come on.
just about infidelity.
You have kids too, 27 years, and you have kids, and you cheating with a man, bro.
It was a profound betrayal of the
I
life
see
he
y'all
had
married,
built.
man. That's all I
The
gotta
subtle
say, bro.
signs she had overlooked for years, the lack of intimacy, the
That's just
strange
so
Facebook
scary. Like
posts, suddenly made
that people could
painful
just change
meaning
like that.
when she chose to confront the truth and file for divorce. She didn't just end a marriage, she dismantled Tom's carefully constructed facade. And Tom, unable to face the exposure of his secret life, began a campaign of terror. The harassment was relentless. Tom began
Like, why he
stalking
look so
Crystal,
mad in all
showing up
these pictures, bro?
unannounced, and making it clear
It's
that if
making
he
me
couldn't
uncomfortable.
control her, he would destroy her. Despite a history of domestic violence and
Like, you gotta
emotional
look at that
abuse,
as a sign right
the
here,
legal
bro.
system
Every single
offered
picture, he
Crystal
mad.
little more than a false sense of security. Tom was out on bond, walking the same
Yo,
streets as his
what?
victim. Crystal knew the danger was escalating. She reportedly sensed her time was running out, documenting the threats on Facebook, begging him
So
to
please
leave
leave me
her
alone so I
alone,
will move
and
on with
seeking
your life.
protection that never quite
Respectfully.
materialized as she needed it to. Everything came to a head on a September 13th,
It's the justice system doing what
2024,
they do,
at the
bro.
Spalding County Courthouse. Crystal was there
Wrong
for a
shit.
hearing, seeking the very legal protections intended to keep her safe. Witnesses described a heavy atmosphere of tension, yet as she walked to her car, the unthinkable happened. In broad daylight, in a place meant to represent justice, Tom opened fire. Multiple rounds were discharged into Crystal's vehicle, ending her life in a matter of seconds. After the
Mm.
shooting, Tom fled the scene, leading police on a
They let
brief
him out,
pursuit
bro. This is
before
literally
turning
their
the gun
fault,
on
bro.
himself.
They knew he was aggressive for me. They let him out of jail, of bond, and he did what he did, bro.
During a traffic stop. While
It's the
he
police
survived
fault,
the
bro.
initial self inflicted wound, the devastation he left behind is absolute. Her daughter was forced to navigate a world without her mother. The
Yeah.
case has sparked a fierce debate about bond conditions for domestic abusers and the responsibility of law enforcement to provide escorts for those in fear. Crystal posted on Facebook in
Yeah.
2023 saying, "Please know if something happened to me, Tom Mallory did it." It leaves us with a haunting question.
Um, I want him to stop on me and trying to shop everywhere divorce. When divorce in order, plus the PTO being filed, I hate to do this, but he will not stop. Life and leave me alone, please. If something happens, please make sure he's accountable for his actions. I've been living trying to get away.
In a world
Trying to get
where the
away.
most dangerous place can be the one you once called home, who is truly looking out for the victims?
No,
Some
RP to
missing
her.
persons cases
Hopefully
go
her kids doing okay.
cold, not because investigators give up, but because the report never gets filed. A mother might call the wrong department. A form could get lost in a
It's the
voicemail.
wrong department.
That almost happened to KJ Beeman. It didn't, though, because a stranger on Facebook chose to speak up about what she knew. Carl Beeman,
Okay.
known to everyone as KJ, was 35 when he disappeared in May 2022. KJ had moved to Denver in 2021 and had a good relationship with his mother, Kyla Duberstein, who lived nearby. The two kept in touch until about 2 weeks before Mother's Day in 2022, when KJ stopped responding. His
Hmm.
phone went straight to voicemail, and none of his friends had seen him. Like a concerned mother, Kyla filed a missing persons report with the Denver Area Police Department 2 months after, but the officer she spoke with never filed it. For nearly a year, her son was missing and was not officially recorded. Then, to keep the search for her son going, she opened a Facebook page. This would turn out to be the best decision she had made. On April 1st, 2023, nearly a year after he disappeared, there was a breakthrough in the search for KJ.
Mm.
Someone with the username Nopetree again on Facebook commented that they knew what happened to him. They knew
Mm.
the address and the people involved. KJ had been murdered. The next day, Kyla called the Aurora
How'd
police,
they know?
and 2 days later, a homicide detective contacted her.
Police didn't believe me. I'm sorry, but that's where it's at. Where he's at. From what I was told, the case at their party, that car was in front of the police. They got into altercation at Casey's. She didn't really how Leroy killed him, but she said he did. Then they took the body under her apartment unit through the crawl space that runs entirely through the building and put him in a shallow grave and covered him with cement.
The tipster, a woman named Sierra, explained that a few weeks earlier, her friend Casey Bach had come to her apartment and confessed while high. Casey said her
Damn.
boyfriend Haskell Leroy Crawford had killed KJ and that she had helped cover it up. At first, Kyla didn't believe her, but due to the detailed information that Sierra gave, it began impossible not to consider the connection or coincidence. Sierra said when she found the Facebook page, she realized the missing man was the same person Casey described. Too scared to go to the police, she reached out to KJ's mother instead. Detectives later learned that KJ was arrested in 2022 for stealing
He's
catalytic
arrested.
converters. Leroy Crawford was arrested with him. By September 2022, Leroy was already in jail in Jefferson County on a different attempted homicide charge. On
Damn.
April 4th, 2023, Casey Bach's apartment was searched with warrants. In a closet, they found a trapdoor with locks. Underneath was a crawl space. The smell hit them as soon as they opened the door. A
Mm.
large concrete mound filled most of the space. Underneath the concrete was KJ's body. Leroy, who was already in jail, was interviewed but did not confess to the crime. 3 months later, after getting clean in jail, Casey described the circumstances that led to KJ's death. He was strangled with a wire wrapped around a shower door, and Leroy
Mm.
told her to help with moving the body, which was later covered with cement. The remains were excavated, and autopsy confirmed that the body was indeed that of Carl Beeman Jr. Cause of death, homicide. His friends described him as a person with a big smile, a contagious laugh,
That looks like a
someone
chill
genuinely
dude, bro.
kind. A Facebook page built by a mother who would not give up and a stranger who believed another mother deserved the truth brought KJ home. What would have happened if KJ's mother
He's
had
for
not
6 months.
created the Facebook page? Would she have gone years before getting closure on what happened to her son?
Alright, man. I pray everybody in this video that, passed away. I'll stay safe in the world, man. Watch you I be friends with. Uh, yeah. Stop doing dumb things out here in the world. So just protect everybody and all these families that were involved in this. So us be able to move more aware of what we are and who we be around and who we date and marry. So be able to just put you first in everything we do and always go to you when we get in a relationship to make sure that's really who you want for us. So us be able to not fall into lust because that may lead to impulsive thoughts and yeah, honestly that may lead into cheating too. Um, just guilty, being guilty, etc. But we literally through that to yourself, just your dreams. Don't for me, it's YouTubers, watch just your dreams. Just forgive everybody in this video and did dirt, so them be able to change their life before it's too late. Um, but we literally learn it without you. I'm sure it's like a good life for your personal family. Showing you, showing. Oh yeah, I just told y'all I'm over yesterday.